On the first part of our Mongolian adventure, it was time to leave the South Gobi and venture northwards to our second launch site by the Ongi River in Dungovi province. It would be a 6-hour drive over rough terrain, and we would need all the luck we could get. There are no roads in the Mongolian countryside. Instead, you have to navigate a tricky network of dirt paths. There is also little by way of public transportation. Much travel is done in Russian 4x4 fourgons, which look a lot like a VW Combi on steroids. Along the way, we spotted a family of horse herders at work. What they're trying to do is catch all the foals, tie it up, and all the mares will come in and go close to the foals, and what they're going to do is try to milk them. The Mongolian horse is a breed that has remained largely unchanged since the time of Genghis Khan. A small and stocky breed, Mongolian horses are known for their hardiness and stamina. It was on the backs of these horses that Genghis Khan and his warriors conquered half the world. Apart from transportation, nomads rely on horses for food and other necessities. Horse milk is an excellent source of protein, and when fermented, becomes airag. Here, the nomads are rounding up mares to milk them. Thought I'd try and give them a hand. This was a hard enough task, but things became a lot more difficult when a rogue stallion suddenly appeared. It quickly became a standoff between the intruding stallion and the herd's alpha male. Despite the herder's best efforts, the young stallion was just too smart to get himself caught. I even joined the efforts and gave chase. Come on, go. Somehow, I think the stallion wasn't quite challenged by my efforts. Eventually, the stallion grew tired and stayed a safe distance away. So what we're trying to do here is I hold the mare, get this foal to start drinking milk, and then the lady with the regular bucket will start milking. This is great. I just hope he doesn't ask me to drink that milk. That's a lot of milk. Now it's my turn. Uh-oh, he will not kick me? Okay. I can't seem to get the milk out of the teat. That's his hard work. Oh, I knew this would happen. I'm very full. I'm very full. Where's my translator? Oh no. Okay, I do it for you. Mare's milk. Oh no.
Buktino.
He's a little bit sour, huh? As we drove deeper into the Gobi, the landscape took on an alien appearance. After a 6-hour drive, we finally arrived at our camp by the Ongi River.
That was a long 6-hour drive. The terrain kept on changing as we drove along. We're now here in this Ongi camp, and I'm here to discover what the secret is. A stone's throw away from our camp is the Ongi Kit, formerly one of the largest monasteries in Mongolia. Founded in 1660, it consisted of 2 temple complexes on the north and south banks of the Ongi River. In 1939, the communists reduced the whole complex to rubble. Over 28 temples were destroyed and 200 monks killed. Survivors were either imprisoned or forced to join the army. The monastery is slowly being rebuilt, with the first temple inaugurated in 2004. A stupa has also been reconstructed, with a commemorative plaque bearing the names of those killed in 1939. Back in the camp, the guides treated the balloonists to some traditional Mongolian music. The following morning, conditions weren't favorable for a balloon flight. With the flight cancelled, I decided to climb one of the surrounding hills to get a lay of the land. One of the most important events in the Mongolian calendar is the Nadam festival, said to have begun in the time of Genghis Khan as a way to train soldiers and keep them fit for battle. It encompasses the disciplines of archery, wrestling, and horse racing. Children from 5 to 13 are chosen as jockeys. While they are an important component, the race is really meant to test the skill of the horses. We were lucky to come across a group of racers on the way to the starting line. This is pretty much what you would have seen 1,000 years ago. The unforgettable sight of these Mongolian kids galloping across the steppes gave me goosebumps. So we're here in the starting line. They're gonna let them go very shortly. This is another 22 kilometers. They've been riding for 22 kilometers already. And these are kids, young kids. Here they come.
Unlike Western horse racing, which are sprints of less than 2 kilometers, Mongolian horse racing is all about endurance. Races take place on courses that are 15 to 30 kilometers long. Mongolians are considered some of the best horsemen on the planet. Many of them learned to ride at the tender age of 3 years old. Events such as the Nadam horse races ensure that this tradition lives on. At the finish line, the first riders start coming in.
So here are the guys, still at it, with a good fighting spirit, huh?
Mongolian horses are trained to finish races, even if the rider has fallen off.
Now, where does he go? I think this is a great race. I mean, everybody's helping out each other, and
and it's so amusing to see everybody in their national costume, waiting for their kids and cheering everybody. How old is he?
He's just a minute. Wow. 8.
8. He's a short 8 though, huh? So I think one thing good about this is that you can be an ordinary farmer or a horse breeder in the Gobi Desert somewhere, and you can still be a part of this.
I also had a chance to meet with the governor of Dungovi province and the race organizers at the finish line. A Mongolian custom is to exchange snuff bottles upon meeting.
Thank you.
The snuff bottle, called kurog, is passed on to guests, and one takes a whiff of the tobacco contained within. The winning horses and their jockeys were then paraded into the town stadium. The Nadam is one of the most colorful festivals you will ever see, with everyone turning out in traditional Mongolian clothing. The biggest sport in Mongolia is wrestling. Wrestlers enjoy a high cultural status in society, with the best of the best achieving fame and fortune. Many Mongolian wrestlers have even found success in Japanese sumo wrestling. Before matches, wrestlers perform the traditional eagle dance to show off their physiques. Participants are required to be bare-chested, since according to legend, a woman once competed and beat the men. The objective is to get your opponent to touch his upper body to the ground. There are no weight or age classes in Mongolian wrestling. Successful wrestlers have a sazul, or coach. During a match, a sazul holds the hand of his wrestler and gives him encouragement and motivation. Coming up next on Asian Air Safari.
Good, good.
Good, good.
Good.
The following morning, we still wouldn't be able to fly the balloons. The decision was made to pack up and head to our last launch site, Karakoram in central Mongolia. The 6-hour drive saw us leaving the barren landscape of the Gobi to the lush grasslands of Mongolia. This and the sea of rolling green is what most travelers come to Mongolia for. Mongolia has one of the last truly nomadic cultures in the world. These nomads and their herd animals move several times a year in search of the best grazing land. With Mongolia's harsh winters, it is not an easy way to make a living. But for now, with the sun and blue sky over us, and these friendly nomad kids coming to greet us, it seems like a slice of heaven. When this little girl saw I was interested in horses, she offered to lend me hers to ride. Out here on the breathtaking grasslands, on a sturdy Mongolian horse with my newfound friends, this was the Mongolia that existed in my dreams.
I've found new friends here. It's a lot of fun riding with them. We can't communicate too much, but just the smile alone makes me feel that we understand each other.
Nearby was the family's herd of yaks.
I want to run and grab that baby yak. I think I can handle that one. But the mother is there. She's trying to grab the other yak for me to ride. She's good. The yak is special because of the milk that they produce. They have excellent milk, and of course they use the fur as well. Sometimes they intermix or interbreed with cows, and they have some of them over here. But basically, the yak lives in the mountains and very sturdy in the mountains.
It was evening when we arrived in Karakoram. Ishka and Sugi wanted to take me to a special dinner.
So what's my surprise?
This one is one of the favorite dishes of Mongolians, especially Sugi likes it.
You like that, Sugi?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to see?
I want to see it now.
Okay.
What is this? Uh-oh, what is this?
Boiled sheephead is a meal reserved for special occasions. It is the equivalent of turkey dinner for Americans and lechon for Filipinos. Mongolians are great meat eaters. Nomadic herders rely on meat as their primary food source, not just because it is tasty, but because it was a necessity in order for them to survive the harsh winters.
This is the meat.
Yes.
It's actually good.
Nothing is wasted in Mongolian cooking. Every part of the animal is consumed with great relish.
So this is the tongue.
Yes,
I have to
delicious,
try?
but-
Okay, I give it a try. It's not so bad. Eyeballs. Oh
yeah.
my god. Oh, so this is the eye. Eye itself. It comes out from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we go. Good.
Good. Good. Bad. Good is not right word. Delicious. Wonderful.
Delicious.
After the memorable meal, I had a chance to watch traditional Mongolian throat singing at its best. Karakoram is a small industrial town with a population of about 9,000 people. The reason people come here, though, is for this. A few kilometers from Karakoram is the ruins of Karakoram. Established as a supply base in the mid-13th century by Genghis Khan, it was later made into the capital of the empire by his son Ogedei. At its height, Karakoram attracted traders, dignitaries, and skilled workers from all corners of the empire. After only 40 years as a major center for world politics, Kublai Khan moved the capital to Khanbalik, later called Beijing. With the move to Beijing and the collapse of the Mongol Empire, Karakoram was abandoned and then destroyed by Manchurian soldiers in 1388. On the site of the ruins, the Erdene Monastery was built in the 16th century. Today, we would be making history by being the first to launch balloons from the site of the ancient capital.
It's the first time a truck will come in. This is a smaller truck, so it's fine. But the second truck won't fit, so we'll have to find a solution how to bring in the balloons into this monastery.
We would be flying with Allie. She is an expert pilot with close to 2,000 flying hours under her belt. She is currently on the way to breaking the world record for balloon flights in the most countries by a woman pilot. She has flown in 60 countries. Her husband Phil holds the men's world record at 110 countries.
Absolutely
everybody's help becomes a little bit easier.
Baasan Suren, the head monk of the monastery, would also be making his first balloon flight with us.
Taking off very shortly. Well, we're up in the air. Wind is taking us to where we want to go.
The conditions were perfect. Clear blue skies, hardly any wind, and the rolling plains of central Mongolia beneath us.
We're gonna try and fly over the houses and just say hello to everybody. The problem is we don't know how to say hello in Mongolian.
Oh, it's a Sambanu, right?
Sambanu. The others have landed. We still have the power line over there. I think we'll just go beyond it, and that would be very safe. Our chase crew is there. I can see them. In fact, it's not only the chase crew, but it's the whole town, I think.
It seems like the entire town came out to greet us as we landed. Watching the smiles on everyone's faces is one of the most fulfilling things about flying balloons. It just never gets old.
Even the babies come over just to meet us. So what did you think of the flight?
Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, it was very nice.
Well, that's our historic flight over Karakoram, and what a good landing spot. We have the view of the town, and I can still see the temple from here.
The world we live in today is getting smaller and smaller. We are updated about the comings and goings of people, the company they keep, and even what they had for dinner. Being out of reach seems no longer an option. Mongolia is one of the few places left where you can truly fall off the map. This was the only time in recent memory where having no cell phone or internet felt like a good thing. And while the endless blue skies, the vastness of the steppes and the Gobi did not disappoint, it was the unconditional hospitality of the people that left an indelible impression. I could get used to simple living. All I need is a horse to ride and the promise of adventure waiting just over the horizon.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in our next Asian Air Safari.